310 pounds. Reports out of Tuscaloosa is he benches 525. Give me the offensive line out of Alabama. We're going to run the football.
Can I get their twos?
Yes, you could have.
Do you get the second team, or do you get the full room? They're really good up front.
All right, so no quarterbacks taken yet.
No quarterbacks taken. All right, with my pick, I'm going to take the Auburn Tigers receiver room.
Nice.
And Eric Singleton Jr. and Cam Coleman, two absolute different makers. I thought that they got some depth there too. Worried about tight end though? Kind of like, but I think that would be made up by our receivers. And with my second pick, I'm going to take the Florida Gators offensive line.
Nice.
And Jake Slaughter, smart center. Jake Slaughter, one of the best interior offensive linemen coming in for this next year. Especially the draft. So through the first round, I've got Ohio State wide receiver tight end. You've got Bama's offensive line. You've got Florida's offensive line and all wide receivers. So I'm going to go deep.
Oh, wait, it snakes back to that, right? Okay. You were going to go what? You were going to go what?
Nope.
You were going to go, did he say defense?
No, I said I'm going to get defensive.
Let's see. You already have. Defense. I will take.
Mental errors, and you've got to limit the penalties because those will kill you, Pop. Just having these dudes bounce off of him like
I'm going to take Texas. In terms of every single layer of their defense, from the interior defensive line, the linebackers, the safeties they have returning. Yeah, they lost a lot in the NFL draft. Congrats, it's Texas football. Give me Texas on defense right now.
Totally respectable. They were my number 2 pick.
Yeah, they got to do a better job containing that as this game goes on.
You got probably, right now, at least the way it's put, the number 1 interior defensive lineman in Peter Woods, and one of the top, if not the top, on the edge on the defensive line, T.J. Parker as well. Like what they have a linebacker, love Terrell in the DB room. I just think that they're a 3-level defense that I trust. I know they did this some pieces last year, but I love what they returned. Some would say, oh, Peter Woods is playing out of position. I think he can play multiple positions really, really well. So give me Clemson's defense to go along with the Ohio State wide receiver and tight end.
So now you get the pick twice.
Yeah, I know.
And the Seminoles are moving quickly down the field.
I'm going Johnny Mateer, quarterback. I'm going John Mateer, quarterback. With Johnny Mateer with Ohio State's wide receivers and tight end. You see this legit competition. Yeah, you seen Cam Ward against legit competition.
Treat him with Jake Clemson to go along.
He know the guys on defense.
Okay, so let's see. So he already picked a wide receiver.
And we see these two conferences play each other oftentimes early in the season or late in the season. David, think about Clemson, South Carolina, Florida State. These players have a lot of familiarity with one another.
Before it gets back to him, I will go ahead and take Cade Klubnik, a quarterback from Clemson. I'm going to pair him with Alabama's offensive line and Texas's defense.
I like it. It's a good pick. Solid pick for guys to help forward, huh? Yeah, I had to guys just follow the group. I had to follow what everybody else to do it. I'll make my own way. Just give me Jeremiah Love. Okay, I expect it. Love from Notre Dame.
That was my first running back on the board.
He's the best running back. I mean, obviously, you could first. Yeah, I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what you're thinking.
Well, look, I mean, we can just take the 2 from Penn State, take one apiece, and call it a day.
Yeah. You already picked a wide receiver room, so I'm going to go with. I'm going to take one of the Penn State running backs. Give me Nicholas Singleton. That's all.
All right, y'all have already picked a running back apiece, so I'm going to go ahead. And I'm going to take a kicker here. I'm going to go with the best kicker in the country. He's from your alma mater. Dominic Zavala. Dominic Zavala, kicker. That's an only pick. Yeah, well, guess what? You better dig down in the barrel, bud. We're going to be great in every aspect. I'm loving our team right now. We already got to be the pick to win it.
Yeah, nice pick, nice pick. All right, I've got Cade Klubnik at quarterback, Alabama's offensive line, I have Texas defense, and I have Nicholas Singleton, running back out of Penn State. I will go ahead and take.
They'll try to add another to their lead.
I want Notre Dame's wide receiver and tight end. I do think that you got the best one with the pick of the litter with the Buckeyes, because the tight end Max Clare is so strong compared with those wide receivers. But Malachi Fields transferring into Notre Dame at wide receiver from Virginia, 6'4", 220, compared with Jordan Faison, who we've already seen. They got helped move into a national championship game last year. And then the Jaden Greathouse kid, 1,600 yards, over Well, actually, that was without Peffield, but Jaden Greathouse, we saw big-time plays in the college football playoff last year. I like Notre Dame's wide receiver room. Let's see. I mean, they have a couple of tight ends. I don't know how those guys are going to perform. I'm going to take Notre Dame's wide receiver room.
You know, one of the tricky parts of play action for a quarterback is that when you turn your back to the defense to sell the play fake, you have no idea what's going on behind you. You don't know what
the question is do I go ahead and pull it on the quarterback room? And who do I take?
You got a lot of great options. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go else. No, someone else.
What's going to move a little bit? I would. DJ Lagway, but I just don't know about the shoulder. So it's the North. I don't know about the shoulder. I'm going to go
Sam Levitt. Well, I like that. I like that pick. Actually, like that. So it's back to me. I go back to back.
Yeah, go ahead. Unless I'm mistaken. Anyway, good. And I'm going to go ahead and take. I mean, this is just absolutely. Give me the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia Bulldogs defense. All right. Let's see. Now, is my pick with 2 picks remaining? Yes. Is that right?
You ain't lying. They did a great job. The offense was
Give me.
They executed and got the touchdown.
And they really were in a nice rhythm.
Kirby Smart, head coach. Kirby Smart, head coach. I'm sorry. That's who we want leading our team now.
After the productive
And listen.
down play at 2nd and 6.
Some people will say, oh, well, there's better ones out there. I'm taking Iowa's offensive line. Huge, white, pissed. That's what I want. That's what I want. They're going to have guys go to the league every year. They're going to lose some. They've got guys they develop. Give me Iowa's offensive line to put Johnny Mateer behind and protect him and give him time to get the ball to Ohio State's wide receiver.
All right, you get your last pick.
I got 2 more. I got 2 more. Right, I need a coach and a run back. Get a 7. Did you take Nicholas Singleton or
what the fuck I just called?
I'm gonna take Isaac Brown.
How efficient have they been as they extend this lead here in week 5?
Absolutely electric. One of the fastest backs in the country. I know he's not a bigger guy, but with Johnny Mateer's running ability, that RPO game, what we can do in the speed sweep, we can line him out wide, get him in the screen game. We got Iowa's big, physical, huge offensive line. He kind of get lost behind him a little bit, take off and go. So give me Isaac Brown.
I thought you might take Jaden Hahn, transferring to
Almost said I'm worried about the injuries.
Yeah.
Worried about the injuries. But it was a great gift for Oklahoma.
Yeah, right, for sure.
In theory.
Okay, so all I need left is a kicker, I believe, unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, because I only have 1 left.
I'm going to take the kid from BYU, Will Ferrin. Set a program record of 24 field goals last year. Since you got Dominic Spada from Michigan, I'm going to take Will Ferrin from BYU.
Nice.
The last drive,
that's 3 and out. Sometimes that puts you deeper into the bad spot. You got to get a drive together here, so you don't wear the defense out.
So after this pick, you'll have
What the fuck?
Okay. So the head coach got to be retired?
He's got to be current. You're not getting safe. Nice try.
Okay. Go ahead and give me.
We'll be done after this. We get to this.
Go ahead and give
What
me.
was my fucking corner over there doing?
From a head coaching standpoint, go ahead and give me Sark.
Here go Sark.
Go ahead and give
me why did you do
Levin
that?
and Sark together.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a Jackson policy.
Especially after what he saw him do to Texas last year. I don't think Sark would be. I know we say Arch is enough. I think Sark would be best against him. I just like Sam.
Me too.
Sorry, for my kicker, give me Colin Rogers. Okay, that's a new. Well, back to you, Dave.
I feel like my roster's complete. Where did we mess up?
I mean, I picked 2 twice. You got 7? You might have still. I think I was supposed to pick twice one time, and I didn't, but that's fine, because it's not going to matter, because I'm going down.
Okay.
Wow. Going down and get head coach. Golly. Let's go through our teams. Let's go through team. David, go through. All right, here's what I'm going to go in order of what I picked. I wrote that. So first round, I went Ohio State, wide receiver and tight end room. It speaks for itself. I took Clemson's defense. I took John Mateer at quarterback, Dominic Spada at kicker, Iowa's offensive line, Isaac Brown at running back, and then the man,
attention.
Boys, super basically the Avengers 4.
All right, here's what I got.
But it's not lame.
I got Kirby Smart coaching this squad. All right, Kate Klubnik out of Clemson at quarterback. I got Nicholas Singleton at running back out of Penn State. I think he's going to have a huge year. I got Notre Dame's wide receiver and tight end room. Alabama's offensive line. I got Texas's defense. Then I got Will Ferrin out of BYU as my kicker.
It's pretty good.
All
right, for me, first pick I took was the wide receiver room, and that was Auburn. Two absolute studs because in Florida's offensive line, Jeremiah Love at running back, Sam Levitt at quarterback. I took Georgia's defense. Sark is my head coach. My kicker is Colin Rogers, long field goal kicker.
Yes. Nice. I feel good about our team. In the comments, we want to know, who do you think has the best team? Give us who your 7 picks are. Remember, it's wide receiver, tight end. It's defense as a unit, offensive line, quarterback, running back, kicker, and then coach.
This is going to be more
I saw this one that gives me real-time insights into my metabolism through something as simple as my breath. It's called Lumen. Lumen is the world's first handheld metabolic coach. All you need to do is breathe into it first thing in the morning, and you'll know exactly what's happening with your metabolism, whether you're burning fats or carbs. Based on your measurements, Lumen creates a personalized nutrition plan just for you. Since your metabolism is basically the engine behind everything your body does, when it's working really well, you get all kinds of great benefits. You'll find it easier to manage your weight. You'll have more energy throughout the day. You'll see better results from your workouts, and you'll even sleep better. It all connects back to having a healthy metabolism. The warmer months are coming for some of you that are already here, so spring back into your health and fitness. Go to lumen.me/booster to get 15% off your Lumen. That's lumen.me/booster for 15% off your purchase. And thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode.
Yeah, I love that, guys. That's
that was fun. That was fun.
Graphics. All right, a couple reactions to get to here if you guys want to wrap up the week.
Yeah, let's wrap.
There's a Colorado fan who was suing over emotional distress. How much is he suing for, Controller?
It's $100 million.
$100 million over the emotional distress for Shadur Sanders slipping in the NFL draft. Thoughts?
So does this mean I can sue Auburn's football team? Because I get emotional distress every time.
You thought $100 million was a lot. Auburn owes me a lot more than that for distress. This is it's lame. It's so lame. It's obviously not a joke. I guess so.
Is it not?
I hope it is. And I hope it was one of Shadur's buddies, as a joke. Because if this is true, I'm just worried about us versus China, man.
I can't wait to see a picture of who actually suing, and it says Deion Sanders with a fake mustache.
That's the first thing I actually thought. But this is so lame.
First of all, you're not winning this.
Well, no, but and look, you can sue anybody over anything if you want to waste your time and waste your money and get an attorney. My question is, when you do something like this that is this asinine, are you at any point in the process wasting taxpayer money? Does this have to go, or is this I know it's not a criminal charge, so it's not like a district attorney is involved, it's a civil thing, but it's somewhere in the process, and I don't know the answer to it. Are you wasting taxpayer dollars by doing something like this? Because that's a real waste of time.
Well, if it goes far enough, yeah. If it's actually but if you're just paying a lawyer to file this civilly, you're just wasting your money. I don't think it'll go far. But can you imagine if Oboy got any money off this? The amount of that's why it'll never because it's just stupid. First off, now there's been some stupid ass lawsuits that have broken before. Believe me, I'm not putting anything past anybody. But if this somehow were to squeak through and Oboy got $100, not $100 million, this would open up the floodgates.
It was $1,200 an hour, but
Cam Newton obviously did wonderful things for my fandom. But if you'd have got Travell in the second round, I'd be like, oh, well, damn. Okay, I'm going to just now go do everything.
It's amazing Shadur Sanders has guy groupies.
I assume it's a guy piece.
Guy piece?
Yeah,
there has to be.
Someone commented under the post when I posted this and said, miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That is true.
Dude, you have to damn.
But at the end of the day, some shots are still bad shots.
Yeah.
That's because Steph Curry shoots.
Yeah, why are you shooting it from half court?
You're not him. It's like that guy. Brother, you're not him.
No.
Oh, man. Next one up here. George Pickens. Is he going to the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Dude.
What's the deal with that?
Well, first of all, Steelers should have Thompson.
Yeah.
What a terrible way to wake up. What a terrible way to wake up. And you know who it's to? The Cowboys. Who everybody hates.
So, I've got a ton of respect for Mike Tomlin.
Subject.
Right? You can say what he wants. You can say what you want about them struggling in the playoffs. I get it. But he's won a lot of games. I'm trying to figure out why the Steelers is like the Arkham Asylum for wide receivers, just where all the nuts ones go. It's incredible to see, actually. I did see somebody post on social media that said the Cowboys broke the Golden Tomlin rule. Never take a receiver that he let go. But when you look at the Steelers roster, we all know George Pickens is kind of nuts. Like, even at Georgia. Like, and sometimes that kind of helps guys. But there's also levels to the nuts. That sounds bad. But how bad must it have been when you look at who the Steelers, who they gonna throw the ball to? Calvin Austin? Like, when you look at that roster, we gotta let him go. Like, how bad was it for the Steelers right now? Just go.
Are you fucking kidding me?
If you're the Cowboys,
What the fuck,
Pickens,
dude?
I mean, we'll see though.
We'll see.
Like, he goes in there and all of a sudden he sets CeeDee Lamb's on fire or something.
Yeah, that would be bad. At least with like Antonio Brown, when it went bad and he left the Steelers, he had already had 7 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Seems at least we'll take that. Bell at running back when it went bad, he had balled out for the Steelers. George Pickens, I feel like never. I mean, you don't have a dozen seasons of 1,000-yard production with him, right?
Yeah.
So like,
He's nuts.
yeah, there you go.
Well, you remember that picture of him looking himself getting drafted in the ski mask?
I mean, yeah, which I think is hilarious. But if you're the Cowboys, you have somebody across from CD Lamb now for Dak Prescott. It's going to be great for him.
Put some respect on it.
If you're, shout out. If you're the Steelers, like, I would understand this. One, you brought in DK Metcalf. He's a certified crash out as well. So you had DK Metcalf and George Pickens, one of the best duos in the NFL. If you're going to get rid of George Pickens, first of all, I would have thought you'd have done it during the draft.
No, but that's
right for picks. And two, how many receivers did the Steelers draft?
But that's my point. People are going to say, well, what do you mean who you're going to throw to? You got DK Metcalf. That's it, buddy. He's getting bracketed. I can go ahead and tell you. He's going to get bracketed. There's nobody else that scares me. No, nobody else that scares me.
And you don't know. And it's amazing, like, unless Aaron Rodgers steps in, if I'm Aaron Rodgers now, that's another wide receiver.
I didn't think he was throwing it to him.
Yeah, like,
well, I'm saying if you're Aaron Rodgers,
and you draft Will Howard in the sixth round. Will Howard's not coming in and starting for the Steelers. At least I don't believe that. If you're not going to be great at quarterback, you know what I'm saying? Having 2 really good wide receivers. So not only are you going to be mediocre at quarterback, you're one receiver who's really about his salt who's going to get bracketed the entire game, and you're going to have nobody else to help a mediocre quarterback room. I don't know what the Steelers are doing.
Fucking drop down.
I don't know what the Steelers are doing, and it's usually not like this.
Well, that's the point. It must have been that bad. Like, it must have been that bad. And this, like, to me, this came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. Like, I want to know what. And the Cowboys took him. So it's not like he went in the Humane Society or something like that. Like, they took him. So now, you got 2 guys. You can break him 2. So that opens up everything else in the middle. I feel great about it. We can make average players look great when you're having to double visit guys.
This is the exact trick. All right. The Cowboys will get George Steelers for Pickens and a 2027 6th round.
Okay. And now the Steelers wide receiver room minus George Pickens is DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin III, Robert Woods, Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, Ben.
Yeah.
So,
Dead for an hour.
It's
Brandon Johnson and Lance McCutcheon.
Yeah. It just
that's it ain't good. I'm not trying to be mean, but that is a ass wide receiver.
Yeah. In the NFL. Like, and we'll see with DK.
It's not like you got a guy out there.
The first time it goes bad, I'm going to see with DK. The first time, So whoever's playing point for the Steelers, those one in the third.
You thought DK was a crash out of Seattle.
Yeah.
Now just wait. He's got less help.
Yeah.
I mean, he don't got Geno Smith. He don't got Tyler Lockett. Like, he don't have those guys running around. Noah Fant, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Again, those aren't there anymore. DK Metcalf is now in a way worse situation in Pittsburgh.
He's facing Tom Hanks and Castaway.
Also, the Jags released wide receiver Gabe Davis. Remember, last offseason they signed him to 3 years, $39 million.
Yeah. Pittsburgh pleads going to
I think it's an injury thing again.
Yeah. Sad, though. Very interesting. All right, well, we hope everybody has a much better weekend than what the Steelers fans are feeling right now. And again, I want to know who you guys would draft and who you thought won the returning college football player / group draft that we did. Everybody be safe out there. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and like the chances of me taking anybody from the Steelers in fantasy football this year. We're going.
Go on. Off the play fake. He let that thing fly quickly, but he couldn't make the connection. After the misfire, now on second down. Looking to throw, it's Glenn. Using the quick game.
Guys out of the backfield now, it's not just run the ball downhill anymore. You got to be versatile. I got to be able to trust you in the pass game, and I got to be able to throw you the football. And you can do that right there. I know you're going to catch it, and I can depend on it.
Phase 2, guys get on the field. The nitty-gritty starts, and it's all sponsored by our friends at MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The air part becomes incredibly important because, folks, it's getting warm outside. Thank God it's getting nice outside, but that means that you need to make sure that your air conditioner is functioning. And have I got an idea for you? Much like the sports fan, join the MSP Total Comfort Club. For $8 a month, you're going to get an AC 2-month. McCarthy's throwing passes, but he cannot take part. So this is draft picks, UDFAs, and veterans who are so guys who are trying out. So like if you don't have a contract, you sign a waiver. So that's what this is. But I want to start you at the quarterback position. So no McCarthy on Friday. Sam Howell, right now I think we're all assuming is the backup. He is a vet. Brett Rippon is a vet. There will probably be some tryout QBs there, but Max Brosmer, the former golfer, who the Vikings signed as a UDFA, but they guaranteed him $250,000, Thor, and they gave him a relatively nice signing bonus of $10,000. Tell me this. Are we assuming, or am I personally assuming, that Brosmer has no chance to compete for the third job when the Vikings did pay him decently to sign here? And second of all, Kevin O'Connell's world is much different than Judd Zolgad's world is. Is there a chance that Max Brosmer is going to have an opportunity starting this weekend to compete for the third QB job behind Howell and or Rippon and McCarthy obviously to start?
Yeah, no, I mean, he has a very good chance to win the QB3 job, and the guaranteed money that you're talking about, that is suggestive of a guy who is going to be right there for that. It is Rippon against Brosmer for that, and I think you could, further than has no chance, I think that's pretty close to a coin flip. And heading in, I might even make Brosmer the smallest of favorites on that. You get to reset the clock on the rookie contract if you go with Brosmer over Rippon. And it's, as I joked after that signing, the profile of Brosmer is extremely similar to Rippon coming out of Boise State. They're like the same kind of a dude. It's just, again, you're resetting the clock on that contract. I think he has a very real chance.
What skills that you saw in college do you think translate to? Like what's he going to do that is instantly going to carry over into the pros? And where do you think he's probably going to need the most work? You scout.
The thing that O'Connell's going to like the most is he deciphers the coverage looks quickly, right? I mean, beat after the snap, whether it's man coverage, whether it's a drop zone, whether it's some exotic coverage look.
he's like the pilot who's, it's like Malcolm Gladwell, 10,000 hours. He's been in the cockpit for a while, so he deciphers those coverage looks really quick, and then he basically beats the defense to the spot with timing, with accuracy, with the anticipation. That's the good stuff. That's what O'Connell's going to like. The limitations, of course, it's everything with the physical profile. Again, going back to Brett Rippon, right? It's a gym rat kid that knows what he's doing and knows what he's seeing and knows where to go with the ball. He is going to run your offense for you, but he is not going to scare the defenses deep. If the play concept breaks down, he's not going to buy extra time for you. It's not a great athlete, but he will run your offense for you on time, short, intermediate type concepts.
Is that deep ball like his biggest weakness, or what's the thing that for rookie camp where he might just like people are going to see a clip and it's like that looks bad? What do you think is Brosmer's biggest weakness that could be exploited here during camp?
Yeah, it's that. It's like. Let me go on the side here for a second. The Timberwolves fans have been all over me. I watched my first Timberwolves game of the season on Tuesday, and I'm like, this team is a good basketball team, and they're, now I'm getting started again. All these Timberwolves basketball snobs telling me, okay, stop watching, whatever.
You're a football guy, for Christ's sake. You've been busy.
Yeah, anyway, we can get back to the football and that, but yeah, I had a point I was going to go with Brosmer, but then I got upset again with the Timberwolves fans.
It's okay.
I forgot the connective tissue of that assignment.
It happens. Hey, so question 2 is this, and I think this is probably one of the most interesting storylines entering this camp and probably entering the OTAs as well, and eventually minicamp, and it's this. The running back position, the depth, is really intriguing. So they're set, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason. I'm going to assume that they would like to move on from Ty Chandler. It feels like they've sort of run that one out. I don't think O'Connell's liked him a lot from day one. He certainly got some chances, but it looks like there's certainly other guys who can return kicks now. And the fact Chandler couldn't break through at all, with Jones sort of wearing out, to me, Thor, it is a red flag. So, but what you talked about was a historically deep running back draft class. The Vikings didn't take one. They did sign Trey Stewart of Jacksonville State as an undrafted kid afterwards. They also have a guy by the name of Xavier Scott, who I don't know a lot about on the roster. Do you think a guy like Stewart has a chance to compete for a job, or do you think that there is a better chance that if Chandler is gone, the number 3 back for 2025 isn't even on the roster right now?
Trade Jimmy Stewart. Yeah, it's a wonderful life. I'll get back to that in a second because I remember the previous tangent. Why I got into the Timberwolves thing. The spacing thing with Brosmer, AJ.
Yeah.
Remember when the Timberwolves took Ricky Rubio and everyone's like, oh, he's the greatest passer ever. When I won't mention the guy that they took him over again. But anyway, he's a great passer. But the issue with Rubio, of course, as we found out in the pros, is because he can't shoot, there becomes a spacing issue. So even if you're like a really good passer, since the defense can sag off you, it affects the spacing of everyone else around you. Brosmer's limitations, it has the equal effect on a football field, which is because he doesn't scare defenses deep in the NFL, you will see predominantly single high safety looks against him. We have seen the NFL more ubiquitously go to 2 high safeties, attempting to take away the deep passes. This is the thing that they did with Pat Mahomes to take away the explosive plays that he was getting early in his career. It's like, all right, you would never see in a single high safety look again. But with Brosmer, you can do the single high because, again, he's not going to scare defense deep. You're getting more bodies up in the short and intermediate sectors, where the areas where he relatively excels, right, on those timing concepts, again, denoting the coverage real quick, getting the ball real quick to beat it. So that's what you take away. It's not only the explosive element, which he doesn't have much of an access to in a vacuum. It's that the things he does well, you're going to start to have a narrow road to success there, less margin for error, because of the way that defenses will defend you. And now back to Ty Chandler. Ty Chandler's up here. Ty Chandler is enjoying his last couple months in Minnesota. Could Trey Stewart beat him on? Absolutely. I think the lingering thing, Judd, to your point about the running back class here, all the running backs that we see get cut in August. I put out today on Fantasy Life the second part of my UDFA class ranking extravaganza. We talked about, I sort of broke the news here about how well the Vikings had done in my NFC version, which is on Thursday, today is where we put out the AFC version of this. But going through team by team with these classes, the better UDFA running backs that got taken, you see these situations around the NFL where a team has 4 rosterable running backs. We have a bunch of them. One example, the Chargers in the Chargers, they let J.K. Dobbins go, but then they had signed Najee Harris. They let one of their 2 go as well from their running back room. Blanking on it right now, but anyway, they took Amari Hampton. They signed Najee Harris. Then they also our boy Rocket Sanders. Remember, we would always take Rocket at the end of the 7th in our mock drafts over the spring. The Chargers ended up giving Rocket a decent amount of guarantees to come there. For Rockets, they're RB4 at least heading in, because you have Kamani Vidal and you have Sean Haskins. I suppose he's actually RB5. Yeah, I put him above Haskins. But anyway, they have 5 dudes there. Someone's getting cut there that should be rostered on an NFL roster in 2025. Whether that is Rocket, whether that is Kamani Vidal. Do I like Trey Stewart more than Ty Chandler?
Sometimes they make some good ones.
When you start bringing up some of these other names, if Kamani Vidal is available, if Rocket Sanders is available, you look around some of these other situations, I could go through 8 of them right now, where there's going to be a trap. They have to, a team is going to have to cut and draft a running back. Trey Stewart definitely has a shot. That was a guy the Vikings were aggressive with as well. You mentioned the guarantees with Roseburg. They got aggressive with Stewart as well, and we talked about the decision to eschew the running back position in the draft, despite this being a potentially historically deep running back class. They clearly targeted Trey Stewart for this occasion. Have to imagine that there was some off-the-books calls to Trey Stewart as representative before the draft discussing this, and they probably ascertained interest there. Sometimes stuff like that factors more into late round decisions than people know. If we got an agreement, in place, I don't have the information on that in this situation in particular, but the Vikings seem pretty high on Trey Stewart. So, again, I believe that Trey Stewart will beat out Ty Chandler for RB3. The question becomes, what is Trey Stewart's competition then in the middle to late August become to get on
some fucking time?
He's got 2 different competitions going on. So Trey Stewart, to make that week 1 roster, it's not just you have to be better than Ty Chandler this summer, which I expect him to be.
Bro, give me time! Every fucking time I get 0 fucking blocking!
And you said you might have a couple other teams. What's another, for Vikings fans, who, as these
fucking 74 standing there not doing shit.
Maybe is it like the Browns? Give me another team or 2 that you think, okay, they have.
They only rushed 4 guys. I got 5 defenders not fucking blocking.
This news of releases come out, Vikings fans should maybe keep it.
6 blocking.
Swoop a guy up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of them because there's like
70 just sitting there looking like a fucking idiot.
In this class that went that last year absolutely would have been drafted. Rocket Sanders. First of all, if Rocket Sanders had been his first one of the day, true sophomore season, he went ballistic at Arkansas. And he would have been day 2. If he had declared his season was wrecked by an injury. It's just you get caught in this numbers game. Donovan Edwards is Michigan team that is a big name because in the national championship game he went nuts, and then they put him on the cover of the NCAA football game. Lower than Edwards' game, but he still is theoretically rosterable, and he absolutely would have been drafted again in the previous running back class. He probably would have been more of a round 6 pick in the 2024 draft, but absolutely would have been drafted. He signs, and this is my nitpick with Donovan Edwards' game. He's a great athlete. He's a pretty good receiver. receiver as well, and he has explosive elements to his game. He has no vision. He runs like he's wearing drunk goggles. Remember they put drunk goggles on you in high school, and then they made you like, you goggles. Yeah, like, and then things got bad. Donovan Edwards runs into the back of his offensive lineman, or he'll miss cutback lanes. So that's sort of the issue with his game. But again, absolutely all day NFL ability. Well, he signed with our friend Rick Spielman with the Jets. Dubious decision, the lack of vision in the field continued into his professional contractual decisions. You go to the Jets. Brees Hall, Braylon, and then Isaiah Davis. They even our buddy Rick couldn't help himself to bring Kenan over there. So, but Donovan Edwards is a 0.0% chance to make that Jets roster. Just another example of there will be, all these different running backs that we compare against.
What does Trey Stewart bring, do you think?
Trey Stewart he's got the feel that Edwards doesn't. He's swift, he attacks the hole, he runs with patience and tempo behind the line, but when he gets that crease, you see the acceleration, he's quicker than fast. You would see him run defensive backs in the Sun Belt, in Conference USA. You won't be seeing that at all in the NFL. The measurables are the concern there. But he ran in a wide open system there at Jacksonville State. That'll be an interesting thing too, seeing him transition into 12 personnel, like closer to the times where the Vikings have the two tight ends out there. You see a few more guys in the box. Because the Rich Rodriguez, Rich Rod was a coach at Jacksonville State last year. He's gone. Rich Rod is now gone to West Virginia, where he popularized the shotgun up tempo.
They took it to Michigan.
Rushing system, and then
the stupidest thing that Michigan ever decided was that they were going to run that system.
Well, there's a sliding doors reality where Terrell Pryor picks Michigan coming out of high school. I actually think we would have had it would have been a different way we look back at Rich Rodriguez had Terrell Pryor not flipped to Ohio State right before signing day that year, and then Rich Rod had not good quarterback play, the rest of his time there. But anyway, that set him about his way. And then, of course, he flamed out at Arizona as well. Rich Rod did, but he goes to Jacksonville State. Same system there. And Judd, by the way, for folks out there, I don't know, how many folks out there watch high school football in Minnesota, but Brainerd, where I'm from, we have a legendary coach, Ron Stolsky. When I was a senior in high school, I ain't going to tell you when that is because I'm going to date myself. They switched the offense when I was in high school. Not necessarily for me. I was the no talent grinder guy, but because the offensive coordinator, a guy named Ramey at the time, he watched West Virginia football the year before. We switched to the traditional triple option where we had it was like the flex bone, where you have the three running backs in the back, like Navy football, right? Yeah. We switched from that to the shotgun spread up-tempo run system. And he told us, he's like, we was watching, Pat White and Steve Slayton and all those guys with the old West Virginia teams. And so anyway, we started running that. The point being, different systems, right, for the running back. And it's just different. In that system, you are, again, you're spreading the defense. So you are attacking thin boxes, and then you try to attack them at the corners. You try to attack them where you have the numbers of each. And then you also get them on their heels. As far as the tempo thing, right? Because it's just comebacks. Whereas 12 personnel offense, you get more blockers in front of you, but there's more to read, there's more chaos going there, right? Because the defense can truly organize the box. That's the thing that he's going to work through. But with the field open to him, he had very good vision. He can make the dude miss in space, the first dude. So, that's what you're seeing with Trey Stewart, and we'll end up seeing what we see more as during his transition to a pro-style offense. But kid certainly has ability.
Interesting. So to flip sides to defense, I've got a theory. I want to run past you. It's sort of like the Ty Chandler one as well. But it would be, I think, a little bit more surprising. So the Vikings took Penn State linebacker Kobe King in the 6th round. Okay. I feel like this weekend he begins a competition against the guy who he won't be going against over the 3 days, because I think he begins a competition with Brian Asamoah, and here's why. Brian Asamoah, I think, has turned out to be a valuable special teams player, but he's going into the last year of his rookie contract, and I don't know what it is exactly, but I trust him. Brian Flores clearly doesn't feel comfortable with Brian Asamoah on the field defense. Okay? So there's no doubt that since Flores arrived in the league, that when it comes to scouting and suggesting defensive players to draft, he's got a hand, a big hand. So he's like seeing film, he knows what he likes. It's my theory that Kobe King could replace Asamoah because he could replace his special team snaps if he's good in that, and that's a huge thing. But also then, if there's a situation where on game day that you have to have depth linebacker go in, you know, if Flores likes King more, and it appears that he probably does, that would be more of a go-to than Asamoah was primarily a special teams player. Do you agree with that assessment?
As we start
I do, yeah.
It'll take a pretty sizable comeback.
You did a good job on this competition. Yeah, legitimate competition has been brought in. And what is your road there to developing a player who's going to get on the field for you? I think we know that's your road to nowhere. Some of these guys you're mentioning, what were the Vikings going through there with? You had a lack of resources in the draft, but they talked in the process about the work that they were doing on the linebacker position. The guys that they brought in, they're guys who could, from a long-term perspective, even probably short-term on the field as a linebacker, while feeling what he does on special teams, while resetting the clock on the contract.
We'll see a lot of games this week, but few will have as much of an impact on the new top 25 poll next week as this one, gentlemen.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there. Kevin, thanks for the update. Going up top on first down. Grabbed behind the line. It's Haynes. And he is going to be forced out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. Tremendous defense there. So now they're staring at a 2nd and long from their 20. He's looking to throw. Caught over the middle. It's Dixon. And he laid the lumber to stop him from getting the first down.
I'll say this, man. In college football, you see a lot of bad tackling. You didn't see it right there. That was an awesome job. First off, being there at the point of attack. Once the tight end made the catch, there was no doubt he was going down. Great job form tackle.
And he'll have enough for the first down at the 42. The Tigers come to the line with a new set of downs. He's going to pass. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. And the tackle is made, but not before that completion gets them 30+. Clemson set up with another first down. The run from the shotgun. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
It's been that kind of day for this offense, right? It seems like anything they're dialing up just simply isn't working. But at this point, David, I don't know if it's even worth trying to run the ball.
Probably not. You're getting destroyed right now. Nothing has gone your way, and when you're down this much, I think the running game is used sporadically, not as a staple. Let's throw this football around and see what can happen.
They're within field goal range at the 29. Let's see if they can pick up a few or the first down on 3rd and long. He wants to throw it. Fires to the tight end. And he's not going to get there. The defense stands tall and makes the stop. Down by multiple possessions. They can't come up empty on this drive in the 4th quarter. They'll go for it on 4th down. Lets it fly deep downfield. And that one is picked up in the end zone. Here comes the offense on first down. Here's the handoff. And he's a real nowhere man tackled in this no-gain land.
Man, nowhere to run on that play at all.
About all you can say is do better. That's the problem. Are they able to do better?
And that's why you keep trying things, right? Keep trying to get on the perimeter, run it up the middle, try different things to see what you do well.
False start offense.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Now on second down. The play action fake. Fires to the middle. And the pass is incomplete, jarred loose by the hit. This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. That play just never had a chance. They knock him down for a loss of 5. The Seminoles send out the punt unit. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. Here's a return from midfield. And the punt team able to smack him to the ground. Clemson has their paws on it, and they'll send out the offense. Boy, they had that last drive moving a little bit, David, but then the mistake just crushed them.
Yeah, and those mistakes are going to happen. You're going to throw the football, you're going to throw interceptions. But I think I stay aggressive with this offense. I get back to what I did in the first part of that drive, what made me successful.
I agree, David. Just turn the page if you're a quarterback, right? In this drive, you did a lot of good things there leading up to that pick. Forget about it, move on, play the next play.
And how about that catch and run? So dangerous, this guy. It's now 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. Looking to move it through the air. Quickly out to the tight end.
Nice quick throw there. And it's so important for quarterbacks to be able to find a rhythm and to be comfortable and confident. You want to just get the ball out quickly, make it an accurate and easy throw. And you can tell that these two guys, they rep that play in practice all the time, and it's now showing up here on the field.
Yeah, and because of the pressure, the defense gets pressure on him immediately so quickly that he makes a bad decision, tries to throw it into double coverage. Really nice job pressuring the quarterback up front.
Fires the pass, intercepted. And after the interception and the turnover, this defense has set its offense up for business. 1st and 10 from inside their own 5. You got to take care of the ball, but there is room to take a shot here. Strong run there to pick up 4 and get it out to the 7.
Small game, I know. But again, the defense knows he's going to run the football. He's willing to run the football, not just drop back and pass. Make him honor the run game. You got to do a lot of this.
And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. 3rd down coming. Trying to pick up a 1st down. On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Quickly complete. They make the stop, but this passing game does some damage, and they move the sticks with the 1st down. We've reached the 2-minute warning, and this offense is that much closer to salting away a victory. Try to get the edge with a quick touch pass. And that's a very productive 1st down play and bringing up 2nd and 3.
And that play is essentially like a jet sweep, right? This offense is going to run the football conventionally. They'll do it between the tackles. They'll do it outside. But there's a lot of different creative ways they can get their playmakers the football in the running game. And I think that was an example of what you saw right there.
And the Seminoles getting set on 1st and 10. Fast motion from the offense. They go to the ground. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Well, with the ISO play, you'd think they'd get a good running start to get that block. But, boy, I tell you what, they took care of business there. The defense did.
Took care of business. You see the pulling guard come around, and the defense is not fooled, attacking downhill. Nobody's getting knocked off the football. The defense is not allowing them to run the football right up the gut.
No matter how much college football changes, realignment, all of that kind of stuff, rivalries are consistent, and winning rivalry games, well, that's just the best.
Because they hate each other so much. So you take the field against your rival, and you're able to put forth a performance like that. That is worth its weight in gold, David. Unbelievable effort here by the winning team, and bragging rights now for a while.
Bragging rights for a while. It's a fun thing to be able to accomplish. Now we also got to take in the the next couple games, because this is always, there's a letdown that naturally happens after these big rivalry wins. We feel like our chest is poked out. We got to look on to the next game, focus in on this next one.
So that's going to do it for us. For Jesse Palmer, David Pollack, I'm Reese Davis saying so long. This has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.